Hey guys, welcome back to another stream. It's the second stream of the week on a Thursday. First one was Tuesday. Welcome, Grease Monkeys. I'm a Grease Monkey. My name is West. You're a Grease Monkey. Your name is. And today we're going to be doing one more item from the Gravity Rush 2 video game, which is this flare gun. For the last, I think, 4 streams, I've been doing modeling using my toon shader that you can get free. Link in the description. Using my toon shader because I made a toon shader and I wanted to have streams and items that show how to use it and the versatility, and also for me to find any issues and any improvements that I can do for the toon shader. So same old this today. We're gonna be doing this this flare gun. We're going to be modeling it out. We're going to be using the toon shader. Hopefully, I can get this stream down to about 2 hours. My first two were like 4 hours. My last one was 3 hours. I really want to get this down to 2.5 hours. But we'll see. I'll try to blaze through this, and I'll talk about it as I go. Hold on, I gotta close the door in my room. 1 second. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna be doing this flare gun, and we're gonna get started. We've been starting the same way every single every single stream is we set up the background, and it's not gonna be any different this time. And we're gonna start it right now. If anybody in the chat has any questions, or they are confused about something, or they have a separate question, I definitely have some room throughout the stream to do some detours, talk about things, and answer some questions. The live stream, while it is for me to model this thing, it's also for me to interact with you guys and help you guys out with Blender. And you can see my thought process as I make these things and as I stumble through a lot of issues. I run into a lot of issues live and I don't know the solutions for them, and I figure them out while we're here. Sometimes I don't figure them out. So this is why I like these live streams, and hopefully you guys do too. So we're going to be starting. So here we go. So first thing we're going to do is you can see what I'm pressing here is my screencast keys. You can see them, see what I'm typing, stuff like that. So let me do one last thing here. All right. Looks like my stream's kind of hiccuping here. Let me just make sure everything's okay here. Sometimes I have an option here, and my stream kind of like bugs out. If anybody watching out there, just leave a comment. Tell me if my stream's okay. I think it should be okay. Okay, it's back to being okay. Okay. I think we're good again. Sorry. Just freaked out there for a second. Okay. So what are we doing? What are we doing? Here we go. We're going to set up the background. The background's always pretty easy. Make sure you open up another window, click on the top left, and put in the shader editor. And then on the mode here, set it to world. That's the background. So let's go to rendered view. You can see that the background is gray. Uh, my computer is acting up. Okay, so my background is gray. The color changes the background here. You can see we could choose it. We're going to be adding a gradient from the top to bottom. So let's add in a gradient texture under textures. Put in the gradient in there. Hit Control T. And let me take off this grid. Sometimes it's annoying, so I don't like it. Oops, not that. This. Okay. So we have a gradient. It's obviously going from left to right. So let's rotate that on, I believe, the y-axis, 90 degrees. There it is. And on the x-axis, we're going to bring it down. There it is. Also, you can't see it on the left here. Let me put it in. There it is. Now you can see the gradient goes from left to right, You can see it gets dark and then it gets light. You can see the square. And we're gonna make it so the dark is right at the bottom. There it is. All right, and then we can also change the color. So let's change the color. Go to Shift A, Converter, Color Ramp, and you can just change the black and the white color to whatever you want. So for the white color, I'm going to do just color pick the image I have here, and then I'm going to Control C over the color, click on the black, hit Control V. We have the color that we want, but what I like to do is I like to make the top one a little lighter and change the hue a little bit. So let's change that hue over to be maybe warmer, very subtle. There we go. You can see from the top to the bottom, we have a little darker, redder orange, and then the orange that we color picked from here. Freddie, Freddie, how's it going? Hello, been a second since I've been able to catch the stream. Yes. Well, I'm glad you were able to catch it today. I changed my stream dates, right? Like I used to stream on Saturdays. Now I stream on Tuesdays and Thursdays around this time, like 1:30 Pacific, not Pacific, Eastern time. So hopefully I traded one day for Saturday for 2 days, so hopefully there's more opportunity to be able to catch the stream. But good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Hope life is treating you well, Freddy. All right. And let me just do something here. There we go. Okay. How's your week been going, Freddy? All right, so I got the background going. Boom, boom, boom. And we got the gradient going from top to bottom, which I like. The only thing that I usually don't like about this setup is that the background of lighting affects the objects in the world, and I don't want that because my toon shader is affected by lights, and I want complete control over how the toon shader looks. So I want to set up the lights, I want to set up the reflections, I want to set up all that stuff. So you can see if I make the background really bright, you can see it turns white or it goes dark, right? I don't want that. I want it only to be affected by the light that's in the scene, which is right here. You can see it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add in a mix shader. Mix shader. We're gonna put it at the bottom, and then we're gonna add in a input. What's it called? Light paths. Light path. Then we're gonna do camera ray, and boom. Now the background does not affect the object on screen. Let me rotate this cube so you can see it on the corner there. Okay, see, the background doesn't affect the cube color or lighting at all, and I want that because I just want it's gonna be like toon shaded. I want control over all my colors. Freddie says all good, preparing for a new job in April. Nice. I'm glad you got work. Glad you're working. It's always good to have work. Makes it feel good. Also pays the bills, obviously. Zach93 says just downloaded your toon shader a few ago. It's quite good. Great, Zach. If you stick around to the end of the stream, or if you check the previous streams, you can see how I use the toon shader in different objects in different ways, and you can really see the versatility of it. This is the point of the streams, is to really showcase, and really, it's really for me. It's selfishly for me to figure out all the flaws of my toon shaders and what I can improve on it. So thank you, Zach, for downloading it. Okay, so I have everything set up for my background. Sometimes, just so maybe a lot of people don't know this, but you can hide most of these that you aren't using, like these inputs. Look how long that is. I think you can hit Control H. That hides everything that's not being used, and look, and now it's just one little guy right there. If you hit Control H again, it'll reveal everything here. But if you ever want to organize your nodes, you could do Control H and really clean up your node system there, which I think is pretty neat. So there we go. Beautiful node setup, looking beautiful. All right, so let's change this back to object because we're no longer gonna mess with that, and we could probably bring this down because we're gonna try and start building out this gun. I picked this gun because it's one of the last objects I have images for, but also because it's simpler, right? And I definitely want things to be simpler because I want these streams to be quick, more digestible. I don't know. I just want them to be faster. 4-hour streams are fine and stuff, but I definitely want it down to 2 hours. Okay, so let's start off with what this looks like, and what this looks like right now. we're gonna go into our solid view up here. Is this cylinder. So let's build out this cylinder, and we'll move from there. So let's build it out. There's plenty of ways to be able to do this. I'm just gonna do it the box modeling way. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to make a cylinder, and I think 32 vertices is good. You can obviously put less, makes it a triangle, or more. 32 should be fine. There we go. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move it up one. So I'm going to hit G and then Z and then 1. Oops, I missed it. GZ1. 1. There it is. And I'm going to right click, set origin to 3D cursor. I just want the origin where I rotated from to be at the bottom. There we go. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to right click, hit smooth. I'm also going to adjust my camera here. Bring it up. Honestly, let me bring the camera up like this. And then the next thing I'm going to do is under the what is it, object data properties, go to normals, click on auto smooth, fix all the normal stuff that I need going on here. So let's start with the bottom base. You can see that the bottom is a little rounded, and we're definitely going to get that in there, but we're going to build out the rough shape of this all. We'll go into edit mode, hit 3 so I can go to face mode, or you can click on face mode up here. If you ever want to switch between these modes, vertice mode, edge mode, is it called edge mode? Yeah, edge mode, face mode. You can just hit the numbers 1, 2, and 3 right above the QWE keys on your keyboard, and you can switch between them. I use them all the time. I don't like moving my mouse up the viewport. It is annoying. So I'm going to hit 3, and then from there I'm going to hit G, bring it down, and then I'm going to start building out. I'm going to eyeball this. You know what? I always get really caught up on like making things exactly how they're supposed to to a centimeter, right? Like I can't. I waste a lot of time being a perfectionist. So I'm always trying to just push through. So we'll just build these out roughly, and then we can always adjust it later. So we can see here that we have, this is the bottom part. We'll definitely round out that bottom edge, but we're just going to rough it out right now. So let's scale it up. We got that little part here with the band. Good stuff. This looks like it's also inside, so it looks like a tube, a canister within a tube within a tube, right? Looks like you could extend. It almost looks like you can extend this flare gun, which is pretty cool. But we won't add that functionality just yet. All right, we're bringing the barrel. Let me bring my camera up for us to see it. There we go. I'm also going to change this light. So let me change the light to a sunlight. Sun, and then bring it down. There we go. I just want some smoother lighting here. I'm also going to add in a second sun. So I'm going to do 2 suns for right now. So one on the left. I'm going to hit G and then rotate on the Z 180. 180. There it goes. And there we go. We got our light set up so we can see this a little better. Okay. So we got our barrel. The top barrel is a little longer, so let's actually keep extending this. We'll hit G. We'll make it a little longer. I'm going to hit, for this time, E, but I'm going to right click and cancel it and then hit S. So scale it out like that. And then I'm going to hit E again and we'll extrude out. This will be the barrel part. Let me keep moving my camera here. I'm going to move it further back, and I'm also going to fix a few viewport settings that I always fix that I need to just save. So I'm going to make that 100. I'm also going to make our view about 100 as well. I just don't like the distortion perspective view has sometimes. I could definitely work in orthographic, but I don't know. I feel like that's annoying sometimes. Okay, so let's eyeball this thing. And also, so let's put a matte cap. Love using matte caps. So let's do something shiny, because the gun's supposed to be shiny, right? So like that's a shiny one. Or this is a shiny one. Should the sun be brighter? Oh, that doesn't affect it. Okay, so that's a shiny one. We got this green shiny one. What's another shiny one? Ooh, this one. All right, we're gonna use this mat cap because it has the shiniest. What's it called? Studio lights. Very cool. Okay, so we have set up. Okay, so the barrel needs to be a little longer. So let's go in the top there. We'll bring it up. This barrel seems to be a little bit longer than the base, so that's what we'll do. We will set that up. There we go. Um, let's actually look at it in front-facing view and start adjusting some stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to wireframe mode. I'm going to go to vertice mode. And I'm going to hit B, select everything I need to select, and then I can start really adjusting this right here. Let me also fix this. There we go. Okay, and then I can really start eyeballing this. Doesn't have to be perfect. While I am trying to get it close, I'm not trying to be perfect here. So there we go. That's pretty good there. Um, there's a lot of beveling that we need to do, but that's fine. Let's get the top half again. Let's bring it up higher. There we go. I think this portion right here, the second barrel part, I'm trying to select the loop cut here. There it is. Probably needs to go a little higher, so let's bring that a little higher. Right about there. Okay, good stuff. So right now, I think this is what I'm going to work with. I think it looks pretty good. Let's just make this just a tad bigger, and then we're done. So bring it up. There we go. There we go. Easy stuff. We're just getting the basics of all this stuff down here. We're also gonna make the inside have a hole. So let's go back into our not wireframe. I'm hitting Z. Go to the inside view here. At the top, I'm going to go to face mode. I'm gonna inset it, and I can kind of see what the thickness might be. So we're just really guessing how thick this would be. It's a piece of metal. It's a flare gun. Probably have some thickness. We'll hit E there, and we will hit E, and we'll extrude all the way down. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to actually make it smaller, or thicker. There it is. So we can actually extrude all the way through the bottom half. So it's a full cylinder tube that has some depth in there. So there we go. We're getting our barrel down. So the next thing I want to do is this barrel is going to be all one piece. So we're going to continue working on it. Just the barrel. So there's a few things I want to add to this. So it looks like right here we have a brim with a circle there, like not a brim but a lip, a lip of some sort. We have one in the middle and we have one at the end there. We also have kind of like some indents here, and that's what we're going to be adding right now. So let's do that. So the way I'm going to do this is you can obviously put it into the model, but I want some control over it. So let me, now that I'm looking at this, I think this needs to be a little bigger. There we go. So this is how I'm going to do it. It's going to be a interesting way. Before we get right into that, let me set my organization. So with this barrel, I'm going to hit M, new collection, and move it to flare gun. And I'm going to rename the cylinder flare, or let's gun barrel .000. Beautiful stuff. We'll hit save. Okay, now we'll start making these like lip stuff. So obviously there's a couple ways we could do this. I'm gonna go into face mode, hit 3. You could do a loop cut, right? So this is two ways you could do this, right? I'm gonna do the way I'm not gonna do it first. You can hit Control R, make a loop cut. You see you have that line there. Hit Control B, you bevel it. Beautiful. Then you can make that little line, right? Then you can hit Alt E, and then hit extrude from normals or long normals, and then you can extrude this out, right? There it is. And that's looking, all right, looking pretty good. And then you could do the same for this top half here. Um, before we do that, let me duplicate this because I'm not gonna do it this way, and I just want to be able to go back to this. Okay, like I said, go to edit mode, Control R, select the center, Control B, bevel it out a little bit, hit Alt E, and then extrude along faces, and you can do a lot of cool stuff like this, right? So there, we got this. Um, all right, cool. So we have the outside selected, we have the base, and then we want to bevel these edges. What's interesting is that you have all these faces selected, but I want to bevel just the edges and not like these center lines, right? The vertical up and down lines. I think there's a trick here. You can just select loop, and do select boundary loop, and it'll only select the edges there. Then you can hit Control B, you can bevel it, add some like depth in here. Look at that. Boom. And then you can start building that out, which is like cool and all, and I like it. And then you can do the same up here, right? You can go to face mode, extrude out, select these edges, Alt E, extrude out, go to select, what is it? Select, go to select loops, select boundary loops, Control B, bevel it out, blah 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 blah. Right, and there you go. You got your edges and stuff, and I think it works pretty well. Um, but I'm not gonna do it this way, so I'm gonna move this into a scraps collection. I like to keep my stuff just in case I want to use it later. So let's disable that. The way I want to do it, and this is just preference, guys. You can do this however you want. So I just showed you one way to model it in. The way I'm going to do it is I'm going to Control R, start the same, make an edge loop, and then I'm going to hit Control D on that loop, and then I have this loop hanging out here, right? Um, then I'm going to hit P to separate it. So now we have a separate item here. So let me disable this. And then I'm going to right click it while in object mode, hit convert to curve, and then now it's a curve instead of a polyline. So that means you have these curve options here. Under geometry, I'm gonna add in some depth, and then I have the circle there. Oops, did the wrong thing. Shade smooth. There it is. And now I have this you know, this ring here that's separate from the 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 barrel. And I'm doing it this way because I'm gonna add in a separate material that's gonna light this with a separate toon shader. And I also want to be able to fix the thickness on the fly. Like, what if I don't like it? What if I want it really big? What if that would be cool? You know, I just want a little bit more control. Um, and that's how I'm gonna get it. So let me isolate this for a second. Right now, it has a lot of points that goes around. Uh, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Control S, put cursor to selected, and that'll bring the cursor right into the center of everything that's selected. And now when I hit Shift A, whatever I bring in is it comes in where the cursor's at. So I'm gonna go to curve, curve circle. I'm gonna delete the one I made because this curved circle only has 4 points, but it's perfectly circular. And same thing. So maybe I did it a super dumb roundabout way, but I just like this control here. There it is. So we're going to bring this into our flare gun, and we're going to call this gun ring.000. And I name it .000 because when I duplicate it, it'll automatically increment the number to .001, .002. And we're going to have 2 of these. So here's one of them. I'm going to hit Shift D. Oop, that's not what I wanted to duplicate. There's the ring. I have it at 0.04. It looks like this one's a little thinner, right? This one's thicker, this one's thinner. I'm going to hit Shift D and then Z, bring it up. There it is. And then I'm going to probably make this a little smaller, so .03. You know, very subtle stuff, but it's there. So we have a bigger one and a small one, maybe .02. Let's do that. Right? So there we go. We got our ring that goes around. looking beautiful. And we got our double rings. You can't really see the details here, but once the material's there, you'll see that it's pretty good. We're also gonna bring this up just a smidge, just a smidge. There we go. All right, cool. We got those parts there. The next thing I want to do is um, we could do this multiple ways. Let's see if doing it with a modifier will work. So I'm going to get the barrel and I'm going to add in all these bevels that catch light, right? So this, while it is an edge, it's not supposed to be perfectly sharp like this. Like nothing in the world is usually this sharp. And when it comes to lighting, you want the light to catch right on the edge. And this is not going to catch any light. So let's add in a modifier. There's a modifier in here called bevel. And we can start beveling out our uh, our our barrel here. You can see the barrel, it bevels out. Let me disable the rings for you to see it. There it is. You can see that it bevels out these edges, and it adds a nice little flair. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to add segments. So let's add 3 segments and bring down the bevel just very slightly. And you can even see it here, right? So like on the left side here, top left, you can see that there's this edge and it goes from white to gray, or this is all white, this is gray, this is all white, right? When you slightly bring it up, you can see that it gets a little lighter, but this is now like a different shade than this and this. So we have this third shade here, and that's what we want with the light. This is what adds some realism to your stuff. There's something that I always wondered, right? Like not wondered, but I always see like these weird shadows happening. Obviously, I have 2 suns going on. If you go to your sun lamps, you can turn off shadows. Obviously, that's one way to get rid of these lines. But sometimes you want those shadows. See, the shadows are gone. I think there's an option. Let's see if this fixes it. This may not fix it, but you can put the quality of the shadows up under your render settings or output settings properties. Sorry, excuse me, it's the top one. It is render properties. Go to your shadows and bring this cube size to 1024. And sometimes it fixes it. Sometimes it looks better. High bit depth, nope. Light threshold, nope. Soft shadows, look how hard they are when you put the soft shadows off. Uh, let's see what happens when I do. Oh wow, when you put the cascade size, it gets way darker. So let's see cascade size 2048. Gets much darker. Um, but just know that this is happening because of the sun. Sometimes you just want one direction for the shadow. So I'm going to disable one of the sun shadows just for now. Go to the front there. All right. All right. We're going to be fixing this issue a little later. We'll keep both shadows on and figure out later how to fix that. Okay, cool. So let's keep going. We have our bevel. This seems to be working out, catching the light, looking good. Uh, and I can see here that maybe this is actually beveled out a little bit. So it's possible that we can grab this edge, hit Control B, scale down, and then we can add in kind of like a little bit like if it was manufactured this way, right? Look at that. There you go. We add in these little small details that adds a little more to it. We can even extend this, right? We can go to edge mode, select that edge there, hit G twice, and it could be super long. We're not going to do that, but just know that you can do that. All right, there we go. We have that edge. We'll bring back our rings. All right, and we're slowly building this up. Let's see. Sorry, let's see if a different matte cap is better. There's some issues that I'm coming with this. Let's do this red one for now. Actually, let's do this one. Let's do it softer. It doesn't have to be super shiny. Okay. So there we go. So we got that. We got that. Okay, cool. The next thing I want to do is start doing this next barrel part. This barrel also looks like it may be beveled there, so I'm going to do the same here. This is all interpretation at this point, right? Like this is just one image, and I'm trying to interpret what this could possibly look like. We'll see it from the top left here. We'll hit Control B. Maybe it's super subtle stuff, right? There it is. right? Do we like it normal? Do we like it this way? We'll keep it normal. We'll keep it normal. All right, so the next line here is this looks like an indent, right? So I'm interpreting this as just going inside. So I'll show you how to do that little particular detail. Let's see if it is inside or if it's just a different material, but we're going to do it inside here. So I'm going to hit Control R, make the line. I'll bring it up to where I think it is, like right about there. I'm going to hit Control B now on the line. It'll bevel it out. Beautiful, right? And then we're going to hit Alt E and extrude by normals. And instead of outside, we'll go inside. Very small though. Like right about there, right? There we go. So we got somewhat the inside barrel there, and that's looking pretty cool. The next thing we have here is this edge here. I think also should have some beveling to look a little better. So let's bevel out the edge here. So we're gonna go to line mode, hit 2, select the bottom, hit Control B, and we'll bevel this out. And let me see it on this left view here. Let's try it again. We'll hit Control B. Oh, you can barely see it on this left side because of the sun. So let me rotate the sun so it's... Actually, let me change this sun. Instead of it being a sun, go to point mode. Oh, not point mode, point light. We'll bring it up to 1,000. 1, 2, 3. There's our light. I'm going to bring the light down to the bottom. I just want to be able to see this bottom. Maybe 500 would be better. There you go. Now when I look at the bottom, I can see it catching the light here. So let's do that. Let's do it again. Control B. There it is. It's catching some light. We'll just do it a little bit there. Cool stuff. All right. So the next thing I want to fix is this one. I'm interpreting, by the way. Looks like this is kind of like rounded out here. You can see it from here, right? This line. This is a round bottom. So let's do the round bottom and figure out how we're going to be able to do that, right? So there's a few ways to be able to do this. I'm going to do it 2 ways, maybe just one, but so what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this this object, make this first one invisible, and we'll do it one way. We'll see if it works. If not, we'll do it the second way. So I'm going to choose the bottom face. I'm going to erase the face. I'm going to hit X, and then I'm going to hit face. So now the bottom half, you see it's empty. Let me get rid of a lot of this noise here. There we go. You can see it better. Okay, so you can see that this bottom half is now cut out. So let's go to line mode, select the loop, and then hit Control F, right? When you think about menus, right? F is face, V is vertice, like point, right? And then E is edge. So when you hit Control F, this is the menu for all the faces. When you hit Control E, this is the menu for all the the options for all the edges. You can even see it at the top. It says edge. When you hit Control V, this is the menu for all vertices. So if you're thinking in like vertice, edge, or face mode, think that the things that you can do to it once they're selected, they'll be in a menu when you hit Control and the corresponding letter. So I'm going to hit Control F, and I'm going to hit Grid Fill. This will fill up the bottom half with a grid, right? And that is pretty good. So now next what I'm going to do is, this is something that you kind of feel out. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to go to vertice mode, select the center, and then I'm going to go into proportional editing, right? And what that does is, you'll see now, where is it? It's right here. This is a little dot, proportional editing, select it. Now, I'm going to, with this one vertice in the center selected, go to the side mode, and we're going to look at it on the left side here for you to see it as it happens. Now when I hit G, if I scroll the wheel, it has a different area of effect. You see it's kind of affecting it all loopy goopy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Z, so it only does it on the Z axis, and uh, scroll up so I can have an effect here. So there's obviously some weird stuff going on here, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Control plus so I can select the whole circle again. And under the proportional editing settings, I'm going to hit sphere because that's really what I'm doing. And um, oh man, I thought there was an option for to do this only on the selected items only, and I don't think that actually is a thing. Okay, so let's go back. Let's just choose the middle point. We have just make sure that this is set to sphere, and we're gonna hit G, and we're gonna scroll up to it. It only affects the bottom half. So you see, it's now a sphere, and we're trying for it to not affect this edge here. We want that edge to stay the same. So I got in a little closer. I'm gonna hit G. I'm gonna scroll until it's not scroll down until it's not affecting it anymore. Hit Z. Still not affecting it, and there we go. We can round this out just a little bit. There we go. And there we go. We rounded out that bottom, which is a pretty good, a pretty decent way of doing that. This gives it that little round bottom. Uh, since we're making some good time here, let me do it a different way, just so you could just see different ways to do this. So I'm going to put this in our scraps for now. Put our original base. I'm going to duplicate it again, just so we always have a different way to do this. All right, so another way that you could do this is you could select the face, erase it. If you go into vertice mode and do a loop select, you can see at the bottom here it'll tell you what is selected, right? So right now it says 32 verts are selected out of 544. You see it right here at the bottom. It's really hard to see. Let me see if I can help by doing this. Okay, so I have a magnifier here. And hopefully you can see right here. Oh man, you still can't see that. Can I make this magnifier even stronger? I don't know the magnify settings, but I'm trying to show you here. At the bottom here, you can see that it says, um, you know, vertex 32 out of 54 selected, 32 edges out of 1056, 0 faces selected out of 513. If you don't have that at the bottom, it can be useful sometimes, but it's under your preferences. I believe interface. We're gonna have to do this. Go to status bar. Yeah, interface status bar, and then select scene statistics, system memory, video memory, Blender version. I usually have them all on because I do these streams. People like to see the information, so those are all on. That's how you get that information to appear at the bottom there. Okay, so we have 32 faces selected. That's going to become important. So once they're all selected, hit Control C and put cursor to selected. So what that does is it puts this little cursor here. You see the crosshairs in the center. So now what we're going to do is we're going to hit Shift A and add in a UV sphere, right? And then if you select the center of the UV sphere here, you'll see that it has 32 verts selected. That is the exact same amount of vertices as the barrel, which works out for us. So let's select the bottom, and the bottom vertices, hold control, hit plus on the numpad. We'll select all of these vertices. I'm going to hit Control I. Oops. Actually, let's do it this way. Let's get this sphere out of the way. Hit L, bring it down. Oops, take proportional editing off. Hit G, Z. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to be erasing this top half, right? It's just erase the top half. I'll select the top vertices. Hold Control, hit plus. That'll expand your selection. And we're going to erase all the vertices except the middle one, which is this one in the middle. So hit Control minus. I'm going to hit C and hit delete vertices. Now I'm left with this ring here, which is 32 vertices. Now what you could do is, and this is kind of a weird way to do this, but sometimes it helps. You can bring this up, all right? Get it as close as you can. All right, there you go. And we can flatten out this circle. So let's flatten it out. Make sure that when you next to the period, next to the question mark key, there's a period. Make sure that you have um, let's see which one. Have 3D cursor selected because we're going to move the 3D cursor to the center of this. Hit Control S. Well, select this loop. Hit Control S. Cursor to selected. That puts it right in the center. All right. Hit L to select the sphere. Now scale on the Z, and you can see we could flatten this out, right? And you can make it like nice and even. It looks beautiful. Blah, 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 right? So let's even that out. Let's see, right about there. All right, now we're flattened out. We'll hold Control Z. We'll bring this up. We'll see that like it's not the right size there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit 1 on the numpad so we're facing the barrel straight on, and then I'm gonna line this up right where it meets the vertices of the bottom of the barrel. There it is. We'll line it up just by eye. There we go. And now I'm gonna select the ring here. Control S, cursor to selected. Okay, now we're gonna scale. Oh, select the orb, and then scale, and then we're just gonna line it up here. There we go. Okay, and then I'm also going to do I'm gonna snap it right on there, right? So the way I'm gonna snap it is, let's see, because there's quite I'm like pausing because there's like a few ways to do this. So what you could do is you could put the snapping on, put the vertices, and put closest. And then under the snapping, make sure that you have active. And the active vertices is the brightest one. So this one's white. That's the active one. If we hit G, we see we could snap right on there. And boom, it's snapped in. It's all connected. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit select all. And I'm going to hit M, which is going to merge vertices. Because now there's technically two vertices in the same spot. Hit merge by distance. And you can see it merged one vertice. But if we bring the distance up just a little bit, oh my god. And this is, there we go. It merged 32 vertices there. Definitely causing me some issues. But, oh, that's not issues. That's part of the bevel modifier. Okay, so there it is. We're all connected. We'll hit shade smooth, and there it is. We got our bottom connected, our bottom sphere connected to our top sphere, and we can compare and contrast the other one we have here. Let's activate it. Let's select this one. See, and when we compare, you can see that this one has kind of like a way nicer finish, right? It looks like it's more intentional. Oh no, my stream. Apologies if my stream is not doing so hot. Uh, Sometimes my stream screws up. If anybody in the chat, please let me know if the stream's doing okay right now. It looks like it's doing okay. Sorry if my stream's being stuttery. Sometimes my internet does act up. Stream is doing good. Thank you, Freddy. I appreciate it. Like, I have my panel here, and it's like no data being transferred. I'm like, oh no, my heart sinks every time. Okay. All right, so you can see that this has more of an intentional look, and this looks kind of like, I don't know, less intentional, less round. So this is one way to do it. I do like this one better. It looks better, it feels better, so that's why this one's in scraps. Goodbye. Okay, cool. It definitely looks a little different than what I have here. But I like it. I like it better. I think it adds a little bit more character. Once again, we're not going to be doing the exact same thing here. Okay. So, the next thing. Oh man. All right, let's see what I have here. Yo, thanks for making your tutorials. Sabuku Doge. I appreciate you watching the tutorials. I appreciate you being here. And I'm glad that you learned something from the tutorials. I'll be making a lot more. Been focusing on my streams, getting a flow going down. These streams have been really important because I really want to showcase the Toon Shader, and I definitely want to improve it. So, thank you for watching. I appreciate everyone watching right now. Okay, so boom, we have the bottom half connected with the sphere, looking beautiful, looking good. The next things I want to do are these I don't know, what are they called? Rivets? These rivets that are along the sides. And there's always a few ways you could do stuff like this. So I'm going to show you a couple ways, and at the end I'll decide which one I like better. Okay? So, first way, we're going to be using the mirror modifier and the array modifier. So first thing we're going to do is these are like little orbs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the UV sphere. And let me make the barrel invisible and the rings. And we're going to start with this UV sphere. We're going to call this, you know, gun rivet. I'm pretty sure that's what those are called. And we're gonna hit shade smooth, beautiful. There's also one other thing I want to do. I'm gonna rotate this on the x-axis, and that's just because I want these points, the geometry, like these points here of the sphere on their sides, and you'll see soon why I'm doing that. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in its own collection. We'll call this rivets, because you'll see we're going to need some extra stuff here. We'll put it in flare gun though. So it's in the flare gun. We have our rivets. And okay, so like I said, we're going to be using the array, and we're going to be using the no, it's just going to be the array. It's not going to be the mirror modifier. So let's get this orb. We got it. We got it flipped. We got it named. We got it everything. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in an empty, and then the empty I'm going to add in is a sphere, and this does not matter. People always use the plain axis empty. I just like to have fun. Here's the empty and what it looks like right here. It's basically it's a nothing, right? It's just an empty. Nothing's in it, but it's in the shape of a circle, and I like to use it because I can see it better. So now what we're going to do is we're going to bring this empty into the rivets, and we're going to name this rivet array controller, because it's going to be controlling our array. So now we're going to choose the rivet. We're going to go into the modifier here, add in a modifier and put in an array. And then you can see here that the array kind of goes out, right? So boom. So what we want to do is we want to take off relative offset and put object offset. And the object that we want to use is the rivet array controller. Good. So now when we move the array controller, the empty, you can see that it moves the array all around in different ways. And that's dandy. That's fine. That's cool. And then if we were to move it and rotate it, you can see we could do some neat stuff here, right? This looks like a necklace or something. And you know, a worm from Mario, one of those like things from Mario. Looks cool. So I'm gonna hit Alt G and Alt R. That resets everything. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to go to the gun. Now that all this is set up, the gun rivet. Go into edit mode, select everything, hit G and move it along on the the Y axis, just so it's right outside of the empty, right? Now when we rotate this on the Z, we can get the rivets to go around in a circle. All right, so you might be wondering like, oh, what if I want them perfect, right? There's definitely some math you could do here, which I think I'm going to tell you right now. So it's basically there if I have a 5 count, there it is, 5. What I want to do is rotate this 360 divided by 5, and that puts it at the perfect amount. So if we had, let's say we selected this, we shrunk them down. Let me move this out. We shrunk them down. Let's say that we choose 12, right? Like you don't see anything happening because they're overlapping each other. But what we would do is we would go into the z-axis of the empty and we'll do 360 divided by 12. And you see they're all set up. There's probably a much easier and faster way to set this type of stuff up, but that's how we're gonna do it here. So I'm gonna just eyeball and guess how many there are on this gun. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, probably 5. So I'm gonna say around 10, right? So let's do 10 of them. So we're close. And then we're going to go into the controller and we will do 360 divided by uh, 10 because that's how many we have. You could definitely do a driver that's connected to this, and let's see if I'll do it live to see if this works. But it's a interesting trick that you could do here. So what we could do is we can go to the z-axis, add in a hashtag key, and that puts a driver on it, right? So now we could put like some code here. So this is how easy we could do this code. We can go into the count, right click it, and click copy data path, and we could go into the controller, type in 360 divided by, and then, oops, 360 divided by, and then control V to put the array. Let's see if this works. Oh, it did work. It did work. This usually. Okay, so let's go a little deeper. This is a little bit advanced, guys. So I'm gonna right click the driver. I'm gonna go to edit driver. Um, all right, so we're here. Let's see if we can make this driver work. I just love using this type of stuff. We're gonna add in an input variable, and the variable is going to be called variable var. That's what we named it. And the prop we're gonna do is on the gun rivet. There it is. And the path we're gonna do is the one that we copied. There it is. It's 10, right? So then the expression is going to be 360 divided by VAR, which the VAR, like I said, is a variable, which is right here, which is the prop that it's using is the rivet because that has the modifier. And then the path is the one that we copied from the modifier into here. Now, this updates itself, right? I hope so. Hold on. That number is like ridiculous. Let's see if it's working. Let's see if it's working. Oh, this is not working. Let's see what's happening here. We may abandon this. I just thought this would be a neat thing to do. Okay, I think I know what's happening here. So, the rotation in Blender is done in radians, right? Instead of degrees. So let's do uh, an expression that's in Blender that we can use, and I believe it's degrees. I'm gonna have to look this up real quick. Sorry for this detour. I just like doing this stuff. There it is. I think. Is it? No. Let's do radians. There it is. So the full expression is radians with a parentheses, and inside it's 360 divided by variable. We got the variable from the rivets. Now when I update this, it works flawlessly. So I know it's a little advanced, but I already showed you how to do it without the programming and the driver, but I don't know. It's kind of a neat thing to do if you're into that stuff. Perfect. So now we have our rivets, and now we can update it on the fly, and we don't have to worry about anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring uh, the rivets and the rivet controller upwards to where I think it should be, which would be around the center here. So let me look at the view here. We'll bring the center. Also, I think snapping is still on, is it? Yes. Take off snapping. We're in the center here. And then we're going to start adjusting things. So we'll look from above. We'll hit G or edit, and then grab it, and then move it on the Y. We'll bring it in. Make sure that your pivot point is on bounding center box, and you can get that by hitting the period key next to the question mark. Shrink it down, and we're going to keep on moving. Bring it in. Shrink it down. Bring it in. There we go. There you go. And we can zoom in, and you can see the rivets are there. Look at that. We can make them bigger. We can make them smaller. We have them at 10. This looks about as many as there is there. They look a lot smaller, so let's make them smaller. There we go. Let's take off some of this extra stuff, and you can see our rivets are there. Wow. Wow. Looking good in the neighborhood. All right. So that's one way of doing the rivets. Honestly, I don't feel like doing it the other way. If anybody's interested in doing it a different way, please comment. But we're just gonna not. We're just gonna not. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do these rivets here, right? So we're gonna duplicate the gun rivet, and we're gonna take off the array. We got gun rivet 0, and you can see that it's already where it needs to be. We just need to bring it down, bring it out. There it is. All right, I'm gonna center in the 3D cursor because you can see that the origin of this object is here in the center of the barrel and not here, but I want it right in the center of the world. So hit Shift Z, that'll center your 3D cursor. Right click it, object, set origin to 3D cursor. There it is. And we're gonna need that because we're going to be using the mirror modifier here. So that will help out. So make sure to select everything. You can make them bigger. Let's see how this looks on screen. There it is. We can make it bigger. We can even make them look flatter. So we'll hit S and do it on the Y. Bring it up. Pretty good. We'll duplicate it. Bring it up here. Actually, these are a little too big. Let's make them smaller. Bring them out. Flatten them out. Duplicate them. Alright, now we can just start adjusting where we want it. Great. So now we got our rivets here, which are looking cool. And now we just put the mirror modifier. And we're just going to do it on the y-axis. And boom, we have 2 on each side. So if we look at it, the barrel is almost complete. We almost have a complete barrel here. I like it. There's one thing I want to fix. Just look at this. I want this to have a little bit more of a bevel. I may change my mind as I change it. One second. Oops. Let's just select that edge. Control B. definitely screws it up with that bevel modifier, you know? Oh, I know what's happening. My scraps are on. Oh no, my second barrel is on. Sorry, I have a duplicate barrel in here. There it is. That's what was causing issues. Let's put that in the scraps. Here's our barrel. Let's do this again. Select the edge. Control B. We'll look at it from here. Let's see what it looks like. Just a little bit. It doesn't have to be a lot. Just gives it a little bit more of a panache. It gives it some oomph. You know what I'm saying? All right, cool. So we got our barrel. We got our bottom half. We got the whole thing. Bada bing, bada boom. Looking beautiful. We got our cuts. We got our stuff. We added some of our own flair to it. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is, let's see, let's build out some of this stuff here. So from what it looks like, we have this hinge here because this barrel disconnects from this half, flips open, and that's how you put in, I assume, the flare. You lock it in, just shoot it out. Um, Good stuff, good stuff. So let's start building out this piece with this rivet, okay? So this is where it's gonna get a little nitty gritty with some like modeling shenanigans and stuff, but should be good. Okay, so we got our gun looking beautiful. The way I'm gonna start this is I want this curve. These curves are usually the challenge. Um, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off with a mesh, and we'll start off with a circle. We're gonna rotate the circle on the X, Control or G, and then we're also going to hit uh, Control A and set the rotation. So this is the rotation here. Okay, in edit mode, you see all these vertices are connected. We'll hit Control F, do a grid fill. Um, and in that grid fill, I want to have a line that goes across. So you see this middle line is at an angle. I'm gonna bring it up, offset it here with these options. There we go. Now we have our thing across. The reason I want that is because I'm gonna delete these vertices by hitting B. We'll select these vertices. I'm gonna hit that. We'll select this line, and then we will bring this down on the Z. And this is how we're creating that look there. And then it looks like halfway through it, it cuts in. So we'll select these lines here. And we're just eyeballing it right now, and then we'll slowly fix how it needs to be. You know, like this. This is probably a little longer. And then we're also gonna shrink this down. All right, it looks like this thing goes from above the second ring all the way to the middle of the second rivet here. So that's how we're gonna eyeball it. Oops, we're gonna hit G. It's all the way up here. This half right here, this little piece goes up to like probably the first half of the barrel right there. So easy to view there. So let's do that. Right about there. We'll select that. We'll bring this down to right about where it needs to be. Right about there. Um, and yeah, I think this is looking all right? So I think it needs to be a little thinner. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna thin it out a little bit, bring it closer. No, just very slight. Doesn't have to be a lot. There we go. And I think I'm gonna go to vertice mode, select these three vertices, hit F. Oh no, I'm sorry. Hit F there, add in one more line. There we go. I think that's good there. And then I'm gonna do a solidify modifier just to see what it looks like. There we go. Adding some thickness to it. We're gonna make sure that our auto smooth is on here. And right click shade smooth. There we go. Alright. I think it's looking alright. This looks pretty thick actually. So let's make it thicker. Right there. Okay. I think that's looking okay. It looks like this is at an angle a little bit, so we're gonna raise it up a little bit. See what that looks like. Let me disable this for right now. Alright. Let's do proportional editing, see if that works for us. Alright, so what I want to do is I want it to be a little slanted. I have all these points here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this point. That's where I'm going to pivot from. Hit Shift S, cursor to selected. I'm going to select these. I'm going to hit the period key and then hit 3D cursor and then I'm going to rotate it. Oh, and I'm going to take this off. Proportional editing off. And I'm going to rotate it. Oops. Just trying to figure out ways to make this happen. We may just leave it. Because I don't want to deal with the complication it's causing me right now. How about we do something silly like we'll hit G, Z, and we'll hit dot 6. Nope. Dot 3.3. And then we'll grab this by half. So what? 0.15. And then we'll do half of that, which would be grab Z 0.07. We're just gonna roll with what we have here. We'll get over it. It's fine. It's our artistic interpretation. We'll hit save. Okay, so we got one of them, which is good. But what we really want is two of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shrink it a little more there. I'm going to apply this modifier, which is good. Hit Control C to center my 3D cursor. And I'm going to right click it and put in my origin there. And I do this, origin to 3D cursor. So I do this so when I put the mirror modifier, which will be right here, we can mirror it only on the Y. Obviously you can't see it, but if I go into edit mode and move this, you can see it starts working the way I want it. Okay, so we got two here, which is looking pretty cool. We'll do everything in edit mode for right now. Bring this a little closer. You know, bring it in. There's our hinge. We're doing some good stuff here. Okay. Second thing about this is Let's see if the bevel modifier will help it look a little better. So here's the bevel, looking cool. We're also going to add in a few lines and then shrink the bevel so it's very slight. There we go. Glad the bevel works. It doesn't seem to be causing too much issues here. Feels like it is actually, but this is like nitpicky stuff. So we're gonna keep going. Cool. So we got that hinge going on. We got the bevel going on. We can even make it look like flat beveling because that looks actually probably better. This flat bevel is looking pretty awesome. I like it at least for right now. All right, so the next thing we want is there's going to be a rivet on either side. So let's select the point where I want the orb to be. We'll hit cursor to selected. We will bring the we'll bring an icosphere. For the icosphere, I'm going to choose the top. I'm going to hit hit plus until I get these at the top, but I'm going to hit Control I, I'm going to invert it, Control X, or not Control X, but X, and then vertices. Now I'm left with the sphere here, and then I'm going to do a loop, I'm going to select a loop of the bottom of this sphere, hit Control S, cursor to select it, because we're going to move the origin to it, origin to 3D cursor. I do that so I can rotate right from the bottom and it looks the same. I'm not doing a sphere because it'll probably peek out through the end. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to snapping. I'm going to click face, closest. And then now when I grab and I bring it here, oh, I forgot to set one more setting. Hit the rotate. Effect, move, and rotate. So when we select this, oh man, it's not working the way I think it should be working. Usually what happens is that it'll rotate with it. So, and it's not working. Oh, here it is. Align rotation to target. My bad. Forgot to select that. Hit G. It's still acting hella crazy. Let's hit Control A, do all transformations. We'll scale it down. Alright, let's try this again. Causing me a lot of issues. How about center? No, how about active? Active. Now grab. Okay, now it's working. I had to put it on active. There it is. Then we can shrink this however big we need it. When we shrink it, make sure to put the pivot point onto the active element. So it'll shrink there. Now I know it's completely flush against that. I could take off the snapping. And when I move it around, I'll hit Control Y or Shift Y. And that will not make it move on the Y axis, which is good for this type of thing. So there we go. Bring it in. Shift Y. Let's look at it in the front view. Just try to eyeball it there, center it. There we go. I'm going to put the origin back to the center. So put the cursor to the center, Shift C, right click, origin to 3D cursor. Boom, put the mirror modifier on there, and bam, we got ourselves. Oh, we got to put it on the Y. Z? There it is. On the Z axis, and boom, we got our divot here. That's looking pretty good. Maybe a little smaller. All right, we're good. Beautiful. Okay, so uh we got our bottom half here. So we're doing good. The next half we're gonna do is all the little parts of the barrel, which will be this like uh eye sights, the iron sights up there, and then the hinge that connects to this hinge, which would be pretty good. And it connects to this thing, this pipe here, and then the rest of the bottom of the gun. So while I gotta use the bathroom, so I will be right back, and I'm gonna make sure I put it in a notepad just in case. Using bathroom will be. I really need like a little like potty break screen here. So I will be right back. For anybody watching, I'll be right back. Using bathroom. Using the bathroom. All right. All right. I am back. Ready to go. Fully focused. Fully fleshed. Ready. Anybody watching out there? Thank you for watching. I appreciate you guys. Anybody have any questions, please ask. I hope I'm doing a good job here for you guys. Okay, okay, okay. All right, so let's continue. We need to say make the parts from the barrel. We got the iron sights and the part of the that connects to the hinge here, which is what I will need to do. So let's do the iron sights first. The iron sights probably pretty easy. I'm gonna look at the gun from the right side. So I hit 3, and I'm gonna select the middle dot here. I'm going to see that blue line cutting right through the middle. I'm going to hit Shift C, cursor to selected, because then I'm going to add in a cube, and the cube is going to appear right where I need it. I'm going to hit G1 on the X, so now I know that it's right against the gun. I'm also going to set the origin to the 3D cursor. A1, hi, hello, thanks for the dabs. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you being here. All right, so we got the cubies. We're gonna shrink it down. We'll hit Shift, Control A, all transforms. G, we'll bring it down to where it needs to be. And if we're gonna zoom in on this, we see that it kind of curves up, easy to do. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to edit mode. I'm just going to cut it down the middle. So Control R, there it is. And then we're gonna go to edge mode, select the top edge, and we're gonna bring the edge in. And to bring it in, we're gonna just hit G twice. There you go. And then we're gonna bring this edge in even further. Oops, select that edge. Oh, it is not sliding up. Look at that. So I'm gonna just hit G and Z on this. There it is. And that's pretty much, it. Obviously, we can put in, let's say, a subsurface modifier. We can bring this to the bottom here, right? Real close. We can bring one to the top. We can shade smooth. We can cut it down the middle again. We could just make it rounded out and stuff if you really wanted to do this. See, there it is. That looks better. Or what we could do is we can add in a subsurface to this block here. And then in this mode here, you can see that we have crease. And we could just crease all the edges we need to. So let's crease this edge, this edge, this edge. Crease it to 100. We'll crease this edge, this edge, this edge, this edge. Crease that to 100. Alright, and then we'll crease this side here. And we'll crease the bottom. There it is. So then all we have left is this rounded top. Hit smooth. But then in the properties here, hit auto smooth. So there we go. And then we got a smooth side. A smooth side. But it's all blocky. We can even decrease some of these creases here. Right? If we wanted to do something like that. Or we can bevel these out. So let's bevel out. Let's add in a bevel modifier. Let's see what that looks like. I mean, it looks alright, right? This is such a small detail, it really doesn't matter. We're going to make sure it's synced in as much as we can. There we go. And we have our iron sights. Looking good. Maybe without the bevel. Nope, with the bevel is good. We can always adjust it later. Okay. So now we gotta name some stuff. Let's put this, we'll put gun sights. That's what we'll name that. And then I have to rename this, which would be barrel hinge .000. And then this will be hinge hinge rivet. All right. And we're back in action here. We got the rivet, we got the thing. Beautiful stuff. All right, next we will need this like rounded part here, which should be relatively easy to make. Let's see if we can make it. So let's look at the side view here. I'm going to go to vertice mode. I'm going to select, it looks like it's right along this edge here. So it's really around that edge. I'm going to hit Shift S on to bring the cursor there. And then I'm going to bring a cube in here. I'm going to bring it in on the X negative -1. Bring the origin to the 3D cursor, shrink it down. Alright. Oh, I'm sorry, I was doing the wrong one. This is the one that we're doing, the top one where it connects to the hinge. So let me go into the mode here. I'm going to isolate it, and we're going to start building this out. And we're going to do it the same way we did the thing before, by doing the iron sights. We're going to make sure that this face has the crease all the way on. And we're also going to make sure that these are creased. Right there. Creased. Okay. I guess everything's creased. Hold on. There we go. Okay. We're getting closer. Alright, so we're gonna select all these and then bring them up. Maybe subdivide it a little more. I'm gonna cut it down the middle here because it looks like this has kind of like a steeper look here. We're gonna right click, hit smooth, and then make sure that the auto smooth is selected there, so we got that nice smoothness. A little thick for me, so let's make it less thick. There we go. And we'll actually have to adjust this afterwards, so does not matter anyway. We're gonna choose the edge mode, go to the top and the bottom because we want this to have kind of like a more dramatic cut on the inside, right? So let's do that. Okay. And you can see on the Z, you can see that I have something more dramatic. I'm gonna make it so I can't see any of this stuff, and just so you can see what this looks like. So this is a little bit more dramatic. That's good. But I also want this to be a little less dramatic too. Alright. I think that's pretty good for what it needs to be. And if we added in a bevel modifier, will it kill it? It probably will. Let's see. Bevel. Make it real small. And I like it. It's good. Whatever. Alright, let's unisolate it. And now we can start figuring out how thick it should be. So it should obviously be as thick as this barrel here. So let's select it and make it thicker. I just feel like that's so thick, right? Like, that is like so crazy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just make it bigger, because it looks like it goes from the top half here. It should definitely be off of this barrel, right? So let me make this invisible for a second. It should definitely be on the barrel, like right here. So let's bring that barrel back. So will it be better if we got both of these guys and we brought it up like this? Think so. Okay, and then we're going to select these guys and bring them in. There we go. And this is how this makes sense. The barrel's going. Maybe we'll bring this out a little bit. And then we will creep this out. Oopsies. Let's isolate this. I'm going to put the origin onto this line here. So let's bring the origin to that. Set the origin to the line. Because when I scale it up now, I want it to scale from there. So let's scale on the Z. There you go. And that looks like something that has some interest going on. Cool. And then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get these guys. I'm going to isolate it. I'm going to select this ring. I'm going to hit cursor to selected. But then I'm going to adjust the cursor because I'm going to put the origin right at the set at 0. So let's go to cursor and then let's unisolate these. And we want the cursor to come back. Hold on the y-axis, right? So let's look at cursor on the y, put it at 0. So let's put this at 0. Why isn't it working? There it is, 0. Because this is where I'm going to put the origin for the hinge here. Let's put the origin there, because that'll make the most sense. Set the 3D cursor. And there we go. So now a couple things, right? So what I need to do is I need to parent some stuff. So I'm going to parent all this stuff to the barrel, right? So the barrel's going to be the main guy. So let's do that. So I'm going to parent this. Let's see if anything gets ruined. Hello, good sir. Harsh, how's it going? Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for stopping by. Control P. We're gonna parent it. Doing well. How are you doing, Harsh? Keep transforms. Oh man. All right, we're going through. Building it. So there's a couple things that I'm gonna do right now. I'm gonna duplicate the collection. I'm gonna put that in our scraps. I just want to make sure I have all this because I'm about to set a lot of this in stone and I won't be able to fix it. I just want everything to be kind of like in one piece. So let me select these rivets, select these rivets, select this guy. I'm gonna right click and do convert to mesh. And then I'm gonna parent it to this guy, keep transform. And then I'm also gonna put the origin there. All right, so now when this spins, oh, I'm missing some rivets here. Oh, hold on. I thought this would disable everything. There you go. All right, now I should be able to move this together. Oh my god, what is happening? Why aren't these? Oh, these are still arrayed, so let me make sure I convert to mesh. And make sure these guys are parented to the barrel. Oh my god, I'm missing the ring too? Come on. Control P, keep transforms. There it is. There's our barrel. Flipping around. Feeling good. And just to make sure nothing's like screwed up with this other gun, right? I thought I had some more scraps in here. But I guess not. Alright. Scraps gone. We got our flare gun. Alright, cool. So this is working as intended. Thank you, Harsh. Been working on it for an hour and a half. So I hope it's good. So we got the barrel. It's going in. Alright, so the next step is we got to get this little chunk here. And it just exists. It looks like just like a square on there. So we'll just put a square thing on there. Easy stuff. We'll go to line mode, select the center, do a 3D cursor. Uh, we'll do a cube. We'll hit G, X, and 1, -1, I should say. We'll make sure that 3D origin is there. We'll shrink it down. We will isolate it for right now. Okay, and then we're gonna add in a subsurface, and this is where we're gonna add in our creases. So let's add in crease. So go to edge mode. We're gonna do all these are creased right here, except the top, right? We're gonna go into the top here. You could do a mean crease. There it is. Also these guys here too. There it is. We'll make sure that we right click it, hit shade smooth, and make sure that our auto smooth is selected. Cool. We'll unisolate this, and then we can start building this out to look like the thing there. Control Z. And then Control X. We'll bring it out. There. We will add in some subsurface divisions. And then I'm going to select these, and we'll probably crease them a little bit. So they're just a little bit creased. You know, maybe we'll hit Control B, we'll bevel them. There it is. And then we got that bottom half looking pretty good. This bottom half, I think, ends right where this line ends. So that's what we're doing. Let's make sure we have that line in the right place too. So we're looking at it because that's where the rest of the gun goes in there. All right, so let's bring it down. There, it's kind of bigger than the one in the reference, but it doesn't matter. It's fine. Actually, we can make it smaller. There we go. And we got that little piece there. And then we'll call this hinge. Hinge block. It doesn't matter. Hinge block .000. Ooh, excuse me. .000. And we got it. We got some hinge stuff going on. I'm gonna put all this in a collection just so they're all in the same part of the hinge collection. So we're gonna hit M, select them all, type in hinge. There it is. Cool, because yeah, we got our rivets, we got our hinge, and we got our gun barrel. That's all ready to go. But where are these guys? Hold on. Alright, so we're gonna make... Oh, they're parented, so that's fine. Okay, so there we go. Moving on. We got the hinge going, blah, blah, blah. Okay, now we got this block going that's kind of like smoothed out there. And then we got this piece and this like the trigger and all that stuff. I don't know the names of these parts. Doesn't matter to me. So let's do this by doing the same technique we were doing before with creases and subsurface divisions. So let's do a cube. We'll center our 3D cursor, make a cube. We'll go in, and then judging by this, I'm gonna see how thick this is gonna be. So let's go into our edit mode, and we will thin it out on the y-axis. There it is. It is also as thick. It looks like it can go in between these two guys here. So maybe that's how thick it's supposed to be, but I don't know. We'll have to eyeball it. We'll see. Once again, I don't have to like follow this to a T. There we go. And then we will shrink it down and bring it down. It looks like it's about halfway. So if we look at the halfway, here's the rivets. We'll bring it in about halfway. There we go. We will bring this guy to the top. There we go. And if we wanted to add in some extra thickness here for this rivet, we could. So we could do we can hit Shift G, do normals. Oh wow, these have different normals. Oh my god. Can we hit Shift G normals now? There we go. This still has a mirror modifier on it, so that works out. So we can even add in some thickness if we wanted. Like that. And we can definitely get these orbs and bring them out a little further. There we go. Or the rivets. There it is. Got some thickness. Looking decent. Looking good. And we can start continuing here. So the next part that I'm going to do is how far this sticks out. It doesn't stick out that much. So let's bring out the bottom. Let's go to edit mode. Get the face. We'll bring it in just a little bit. Like this. Now we're going to do our subsurface modifier. And we're going to select all of it. And we're going to crease all of it for right now. Except these guys. So we're going to go to line mode. Select these two lines. Take off the crease. No, these lines. These edges. Take off the crease here. Add in some more subdivisions. Do a shade smooth. Make sure the auto shading's on. We're getting closer. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut this down the middle. Alright, and then we're going to add in some crease onto here. Just so we have enough. And then maybe do a loop cut down the bottom here. So let's do a loop cut. Get it real close. It's all the subtle stuff with creases and subdivisions. And it looks like this kind of sticks out. So I'm just going to select this line and then bring it down. Alright, and then I'm going to select both faces and bring it in. Right. There it is. It's very subtle, but it's there. And also bring this loop edge here. We'll bring it out further. So then this has more room to breathe. Breathe. There we go. Getting closer. And that's that chunky chunk there. That piece. And then something we could do here is we can add in a bevel modifier. Kelly, how's it going? Good to see you, as always. Add in the bevel modifier. I think we're looking pretty decent. We may want to get the edges here and decrease the crease here. There you go. We're getting it. We're getting it. All right. We got it. We got it. We got it. Okay, so that's looking good. The next thing I want to do is this piece right here. The handle. And with that extra flare and the grip and all that stuff. So we're going to do the same thing. Model it the same way. Make it the same way. I'm going to select this face here. Hit Control S. The cursor is there. I'm also going to go to object mode, Shift A, mesh, cubes. I'm going to move the cube on the X -1. Set the origin to it. And then shrink it down. And then we're going to figure out where we're going to make this. Grease Monkey on point. Thank you, Callie, for the donation. I don't know why it didn't show me that the donation went through. For the super chat, I should say. Thanks for the super chat. But yes, Kelly, thank you. Oh, there it is. That took a while for it to come through. All right, all right, all right. Okay, so this handle looks like it goes just past this bottom of the barrel and just between here. So it's literally between this guy and this guy. So that's where we're going to put it. And I'm glad I am on point. I feel on point. All right, so that we're going to get this just to the edge here. And then we're going to extend this out on the X. All right, and then we're going to eyeball most of this stuff and figure out how it looks. Oopsies. Oh, what happened? There it is. We're going to grab our Y. There we go. All right, it looks like this thing curves out a little bit. So we're going to be using a subsurface division here. We're going to select them all, increase the crease. And then we're going to first get this curve going on. So what I'm going to do is cut it in the middle here. Move it around. And just bring this up. And then I'm going to make another one. Oh, sorry. I'm going to make another loop cut in the middle because with this subdivide, it kind of curves everything. And then we're going to bring it up here. And then we're going to look at it. We're going to hit shade smooth and make sure that auto smooth is on. There you go. And it does look a little wonky. It looks a little thick, so we're gonna close that up. And I think we're gonna make it much bigger. There we go. I'm gonna look at it from this side view here. Really try to figure out how to get this to work. Don't want to add in too many loop cuts. Just looks like an S curve here, like S. So, does this look like an S? Almost. Almost. All right, so let's get this here. Also, let me just bring this line up. So let me bring that line. Just really start getting some individual stuff here. We're just trying to get this general shape, and maybe it's thinner here. Let's see. Or maybe this is smaller. Let's see if this is smaller. Just eyeballing this. Okay, we're not gonna spend too much time on this. We could definitely fix this ad nauseum, but we're not going to. So we got that. It also has this thing where it kind of like sticks out here. Easy stuff to do. So we'll right click, do a loop cut. Let me select all the faces here, and then we're gonna grab by the Z and stick this out, and you can see it kind of loops out in the same way that this handle does. And I wonder if it'll be the same for the other one. So what I'm gonna do is, instead of just looping that end, I'm gonna do the whole thing, except maybe the top. Let me isolate this. All right, so let's see. Okay, maybe not the bottom, just the top and the bottom. There we go. Kelly, GM, will you add the outline option to your shader in the future? Kelly, I've told you. I can't add the outline option because doing it in the shader, for me right now, it's not possible. The way that you have to do it is with the line art modifier, or using one of the add-ons that do like the reverse shell thing. So for the outline in the shader, not gonna work. Not possible. So no, I won't be adding an outline in the shader in the future, unfortunately. You have to figure out the outline stuff a different way with like the line art modifier, the grease pencil, or if somehow we're able to get information of the mesh, like the edge creases or seams or anything, um, and then you choose it yourself. But for right now, I don't think it's possible. At least I can't do it. But I don't think it's possible. All right, let me soften that out. Maybe a little bit. If I bevel this, what would that look like? Maybe a little smoother, so that's good. And then make it flat there. Okay. There we go. That's pretty much it. I think we're gonna keep it moving now. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is for the side here, I'm going to just duplicate this. I'm gonna separate it from selection. I'm gonna select it here. I'm gonna grab it, and then I'm gonna shrink it down. So you continue to upgrade your shader. Yes, I do have a couple ideas for upgrading the shader. I'm going to be adding some more textures that can be used to disrupt the lines for the toon shading. I was thinking about adding an option so you can have it so you don't need lights. So you can control all the stuff within the shader, where the light direction basically. You can control the light direction in the shader. That makes it a little bit simpler, so you don't have to deal with lights. But it's not as complicated as that like Lighting Boy one. It'll just be like one little orb thing that you can control. So there's definitely a few things in the pipeline. I'm doing these streams specifically to find the flaws of the Toon Shader so I can improve them. But yes, I think I updated that Toon Shader like about a month ago, so I still got tutorials and a bunch of things I want to make. For right now, the Toon Shader works, but yes, Kelly, I will be continuing to upgrade that shader. It's gonna be good. It's gonna look good, and I'm excited. I'm excited for you to try it out. All right, so I hit shade smooth. All right, there's a couple things I want to do here, which is let's see if I can make a at least interesting design here. So bring that to the bottom. I'm going to dissolve some of these edge. No, I'm not going to dissolve the edges. I am going to dissolve this one. Dissolve edge. I'm going to cut this in the middle here. I'm going to select these faces. Actually, let me select all these faces and delete these faces. Let me add in a modifier, the solidify. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to see if I can make something similar to this. I'll do that by going to vertice mode, sliding these guys down. Nope, sliding this down, this down. What's up with the Patreon? Oh, that will be launching. The Patreon will be launching tomorrow. Tomorrow would be the day where I launch it. And I will personally make sure I'll put a post about it, but it will be tomorrow. Just wanted to work out some kinks with some things I wanted to do, but I think it's gonna be pretty good. There we go. Move it in. There we go. Grab it on the X. There we go. And then bring it in. Maybe make it thinner. But yeah, I'll be starting the Patreon. I'll launch it tomorrow. And we will go from there. I have some stuff I want to make, some tutorials. And I'm going to start then the process of making tutorials more frequently. Now that I got my stream schedule set a lot better for time, the should be able to do this a lot better. All right, so let me right click and set the origin to the 3D cursor, which is in the center. So when I hit mirror on this guy, so let's put the mirror and mirror it on the Z, the Y, there it is. It's on both sides. There we go. Looking good. One thing I want to do is just kind of move these out a little bit as well, like this. So a bit of a rounder shape. There we go. Let's also move these lines down here. And let me bevel this edge. There we go. I think I got it. Got what I needed from that. I'm gonna save it. Looks good. Now let's name some stuff. This is what is it called? A gun handle? Gun. Okay. Handle. Grip. It's called a grip. Grip. And we'll call this grip base. We'll put both of these. Oh, and then this will be called grip texture? I don't know. So we got grip, grip texture, blah, blah, blah. We'll put those in a collection called grip. Put it in the flare gun. Got the gun barrel. Going good. Kelly, how you been, Kelly? How has your character modeling and your stuff been going for that? Any good progress? All right. So, okay. So now we need to make this guy right here. We're going to do that with a curve. So let me bring in I'm going to bring a Bezier curve. I'm going to rotate it on the X. Scale rotation. I'm going to turn on the normals. I forget what direction it's always facing. Where are the normals? Hold on. There it is. Normals. Alright, so the normals are above. We're gonna reset all this stuff. Okay. I think this is going the way that I want it. Okay, and then now I'm going to add in a extrude. Give it some thickness here. We're gonna rotate the whole oh no, we're not. We're gonna thicken it and then we're gonna put the depth. Put the resolution down. Um, can we twist the whole thing? Yes, we're gonna twist it 90 degrees. We're gonna do fill caps. We're gonna make it thinner. Oh, no, not thinner. Less thick. There it is. There it is. Okay, cool. We're gonna take off our normals now. We see them. We're gonna place these where I think they go. We'll put one there. We will subdivide and we'll bring one over here. Rotate, scale, rotate, scale, grab. Let's look at this from the left side. There you go. It looks like it goes halfway through that. Ours is a little bit a different scale here, so we're gonna just eyeball it. There you go. I'm gonna select all these. I'm gonna hit V automatic. That kind of like resets them for me. Alright, we're gonna select these. Go. Let's reset them again. Select them all. Hit V automatic. And we're just gonna really figure out how these are. You know. And honestly, I may not follow the uh like I may just make it longer than it actually is in the reference. By that I just mean bring it up to like here. Onto this block. Just so it looks a little better. There we go. Or maybe it is a little too high. Maybe it should just be where it needs to be, right? Okay. We gotta get started on, nah. We gotta get started on this material stuff so I can end this stream. I'm already at 2 hours. I'm trying to get these streams a little shorter, but it's just not possible, huh? Alright, and now let's make the trigger. So for this trigger, it looks like there's like a hole in there. Uh, we're gonna change it up. We will put a hole in there, but it won't be that big a deal. So let's uh, cut this in half. There we go. Let's put a couple things here. We'll put cut it in half this way. We'll cut it in half this way. We'll hit Control B. How are we gonna do this? I want to do this in an easy way, but let's see. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply the modifiers that are on this, which is a subdivision and a bevel. So what I'm going to do is I have the old flare gun. I'm going to right click. I'm going to duplicate this whole flare gun. Duplicate collection. Put it in the scraps. Turn it off. So just in case we need that again. There we go. Turn it off. Okay. That's all good. We're going to save because I haven't saved in a long time. And I'm just going to apply the modifiers. By that, I'm going to do convert to mesh. And this should have everything converted the way that I need it. And then now I'm going to mess with how big these guys are. So let's bring this guy up. And let's bring this guy down. Because in face mode, I'm going to sync in these guys. So let's sync those in by normal. There we go. Maybe I sunk it in too much. It doesn't need to be that much. Just a little bit. There we go. I'm going to select this edge, put cursor to selected, because I'm going to bring in the trigger now. Alright. We'll shrink this down. Shrink this down till it fits. And we'll actually make it a little longer. And we'll select the face. We'll bring it, oops, that's not what I meant to hit. We'll bring it out. Like this. We'll select all, put the crease on there, but then add a subdivision. Nothing happened because we have the crease. But now we can do something where we can cut it in the middle and bring it down. Like this. We're gonna smooth out this circle part here, so we'll take off the crease there. We're gonna add in some subdivisions. We're gonna hit smooth. We're gonna put in the auto smooth. There we go. The trigger looks a little thick here, so I'm gonna make it skinnier. like that. And then I'm gonna bring in the line of the base of the trigger so it's bigger. Maybe it goes out like that. There we go. Um, and then I'll add in a bevel modifier because I think it catches the light real good. There we go. All right. I think I'm done with the construction. Oh my god. And then now we're gonna shade it up with some toon shading, and then we'll be done. And we'll move on with our life. I'm gonna fix something about this barrel. I'm gonna make sure that the barrel base doesn't intersect with any of this. So right about there. Good stuff. And then this is a trigger. And I'm gonna make it part of, and then trigger cover. Forget that. I don't know what that's called. Trigger cover. I'm going to put that all part of the grip. So now we have our gun that unhinges from there. And maybe one little detail that we can put here is that it fits in here, but I maybe leave that out. I don't feel like modeling that and getting into the weeds of making this a curved thing. So we'll keep it the same. We'll call it. We'll call it there. So let's start making the shader for this. So the shader's affected by lights. We have our lights on. We're going to be messing with the lights. And then after we do the shader stuff, maybe we'll make the flare bullet there, but this is how we're gonna roll for right now. All right, let's open up our asset browser. If you want this toon shader, I made the toon shader. You can download it in the description down below. It's on my Gumroad. If you want this, we're going to do the asset browser, do the materials. Here they are. There's my toon shader. So first I'm going to do is go to the materials. I'm going to just drag it right on here. And obviously nothing has changed. I think it's loading. Yeah, later loading the compilation. There it is. And then we're going to go back to the 3D view. And we're going to start coloring this up. So this is affected by lights. So let's keep going. Actually, I'm going to go into this shaded view here. I got to see my lights. So let's put the extras back on. I'm going to try a couple different things here. Let's turn off this light. So it's just this gradient that's going across. And let's make this a area. And I'm gonna hit Control Alt R. I'm gonna go to the right side. I'm gonna bring it up. I'm gonna point it at it. So let me point it on the x-axis 90. There we go. And then I'm going to shrink down the light. So we'll put it down to 100. Maybe not 100. Right there. And then I'm gonna do a rectangle, and you can see that it has a size. I just want to see if it affects it at all. Oh, it does. So it makes it a lot thinner. So I have like this long, thin line that I'm making here. So that's what I got. Long, thin line. And we'll make it stronger. There it is. And that's how we're going to light it for this barrel for right now. We'll just bring up the light. There it is. I'm going to make it really long. Let's see. So 0 on the X, 35 on the Y, and then we're going to make it brighter. Ah, there we go. It's a long, thin line that we're getting here. So we're looking at it from the front view, which is good stuff, right? All right, so now let's go into our shader editor and start shading this. Uh, yeah, let's start shading this. So here we go. So first we go into our object on our shader editor, select the material. Here's our material. We're going to take off the gradient for right now and the Fresnel. So take off the Fresnel, take off the gradient. We're left with the solid colors that we need. And now we're going to put in, I'm going to just color pick all the colors to the 4 colors that we have up here. So let's do a highlight color. Let's do this color. I think it's the brightest one we have, right? We're just going to color pick it. Second color, second shade. Third color, it says darker shade. And then the darkest color, which would probably be this over here. There it is. It doesn't look very metallic-y, but we'll definitely be adding some panache to it to make it look a little bit more metallic. Let's mess with the metallic setting here, see how that changes it up. It's loading. It looks interesting. Maybe we won't do it this way. Let's get our lights. And nothing about this. Alright, so we're just making like these giant lights. There it is. Alright, so we have this giant light. It's going through. It has our metallic-y color. We may be able to even just make this as bright as possible, so it's actually shiny. And then for this darker color, let's just actually make it darker. And then I can control how the colors are separated here with these options that I have put in. So the second color size, you can see I can make it right so it goes to the very edge. Same thing with the first color, we'll bring that out too. And we can even bring the highlight in a little bit so it's not as crazy. There it is. So there's our gun. Maybe we'll make this even bigger. What if we made this 100? And then we had to make this 5,000? Something like that. Okay, and then we control the white highlight here. There we go. So it's just being shaded by one side, but you know, it works for what it needs to right now. And I like it. This is like pretty, we're almost there. It looks great. All right, so there's a couple things happening here. So let's call this barrel. And we're gonna hit save. So one thing that I notice here is that this ring here is a different color. So we're gonna choose the barrel, go to edit mode. We're actually gonna make another material, choose the barrel, hit the little key here, the little button that says duplicate. Now we have 2 barrels. We have barrel, and I'm gonna call this one barrel dark. Just so we have it. There we go. Barrel dark. And then I'm gonna go to face mode and edit mode there, and I'm gonna select all the faces that make up that particular part. We'll click on assign, and we assign dark. You can't see much on it, but what we're gonna do is we're going to get rid of the highlight on that particular part. See, we're getting rid of the highlight. And then we're gonna bring in the other colors. And honestly, maybe we shouldn't do it this way, but we're just giving it a different look. And we'll definitely mess with each and every one of these settings so we can, you know, make them look closer. So for this detail, I'm gonna add in some grain here. Very little amount, just very slight. Zero point 0.7. That's not a. It's not too much. We'll add 0.7 here. There we go. And for this, for the highlight, I'm gonna make it this color. For the second color, I'm gonna make it this. And for the third color, I'll make it this. There it is. So that's a little bit closer to what we're seeing here. It obviously needs a little bit more details, but we'll keep moving on. So there it is. So now we also have this part of the barrel. I think it's pretty much should be the same. It looks a little darker, so maybe we'll change it just a slight bit. We'll go to edit mode, go to vertices. I'm gonna hit Control Plus until I encompass the whole thing. There it is. So we're gonna make a third one here. I'm gonna put barrel, duplicate it, and then I'm gonna put, it's gonna be called barrel bottom. Bottoms. Okay, there we go. So this barrel bottom, let's recolor these. Let's, we're gonna pick them and then we'll eyeball it. So that's that color. We'll do that color. Lucky there's a nice separation of colors here, right? All right, and then this doesn't seem to be as reflective, so we'll take off the highlight. Oh, I forgot to hit a sign. There it is. There it is. And then we'll bring in the thing there. The second color. There you go. That gives it a little bit of a better character there. And maybe we'll make it a little darker as well. Yo, Gun? Yo, gun? Are you referencing something? Or are you just saying yo, gun? I'm also gonna bring the highlight down a little bit for this guy. It is a little strong. Maybe a little big. There we go. Just for now, it's a little shiny. And we'll definitely continue working on that barrel. Alright, so the next part is going to be these rivets. So let's just choose our rivets. Choose the barrel. Duplicate it. We'll call this rivets. And get up and close and personal. It ain't Big Shooty Sunday yet. What is Big Shooty Sunday? Alright, we're gonna make those bright there. And we're probably gonna just make these extra shiny. So let's just bring all this up. Like that. And I think that's a pretty good color for the rivet. So we'll select the rivets and we'll make sure that they're all kind of the same here. There we go. I might get rid of the brown color and make it silver. Like desaturate this, like there it is. Let's make it silver for now. We'll add in the color after. Okay. It's silver. Let's do the same thing for the rivets. All right. I'm gonna hit save. And what's great is I have 3 different versions of this metal, which is all looking pretty cool. So it looks like this darker color is the darkest of them all. So I'm gonna choose it. Choose dark barrel there. Uh, and I'm gonna call this grip. Grip. Just grip. And then to make this easier on myself, I'm just gonna add in a color afterwards and just put everything down. So let's put the gamma down. Would that work? Oh no, please don't crash. Okay, save. There it is. So we put the gamma down. So we got the grip going on. Looking good. It looks like this and the trigger is all kind of close to this. So let's use that as a base. So let's get this guy and do barrel dark. We'll do the same thing for this barrel dark. Oh no, sorry. We'll call this grip. That 000, and we'll just put everything grip that 000. And this grip can just be called grip dark, because it is. And this can be the barrel color. There we go. Oh yeah, and we forgot this guy. And when this can be the barrel, but maybe we'll do its own thing here. We'll call it hinge. And we'll also mess with the gamma on it as well. Book the color, put the gamma, put it in. Let's look at it. And we'll do the same thing for these guys. We'll put hinge, and we'll put hinge on these. We may just do the barrel actually. Barrel, and this is barrel. Oh, we forgot this guy. We'll put barrel as well. All right. I think we're pretty solid here. Um, there's actually more details we can put. Let's do a couple things here. Let's model out this real quick. Um, and then color it and then mess with some textures here. So this has more of a textured look. This grip dark. Because right now it's looking pretty average. All right. And now let's, yeah, make this guy real quick. Just real quick. So we're going to go to the gun barrel. I'm going to make it the exact size of the entrance here. So I'll duplicate this. Hit selection. And this is going to be called gun flare. All right, I'm going to build it right from the top here. I'm just going to shrink it down a little bit. I'm going to put the origin to the surface. Nope, the geometry. So then when I shrink it, it'll shrink right there, but very little bit. There it is. All right. And we're going to build this from the top to the bottom. So let's bring it up. So go to edit mode, extrude. This guy here, extrude, hit S, bring it down, right about there. Scale this up a little bit. For the top, we will just hit F, and then we'll hit E to extrude the top, and we'll bring it up. That's how we make a bevel. It looks like that. We'll hit shade smooth and make sure that, yep, the auto smooth is selected. This bottom half, we will do something similar where we will hit E, scale it a little bit, maybe a lot of bit, then scale it down, and then hit E, and scale it up, and then scale it down, just like that. And then hit F on here. Oops. Hit F. That's working, right? F. Um, and then make sure we hit Control N. Oh no, sorry, Alt N. Calculate normals. The normals are all correct now. Um, and this little bottom guy is probably a little bigger. We'll bring it in. There we go. Yeah, okay, great. So there's our bullet, and that goes, or our flare, and that definitely goes inside, right? Boom. Great. Okay, so let's color this barrel here. So right now it's like a silver color. There's a couple things we need to do. We need to take off everything. We'll just call this flare. And let's just do some color picking here. And then we'll adjust it as we go. All right, we'll desaturate it. It's a little shinier. We're gonna make that band at the top here. Click on it, hit G twice, bevel it, make the band, make another flare, duplicate it. We'll call it flare stripe. 0, 0. We'll assign it. And now we can add some color to it. So let's go to red and just add in the red, the red, the red, and the red. There it is. Interesting stuff. I think to add in some more interest into this, I'm going to make another one, do flare. I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to call it flare dark. Dot 0, 0, 0. And I'm going to select this whole face here. Assign it. I'm going to add in a gamma color on here. And I'm just going to make it a little darker. Just slightly. Doesn't have to be a lot. You know, maybe the bottom half too. Maybe this red's a little vibrant. So let's go to the red. And just desaturate it a bit. Darken it, desaturate it, darken it. Harsh. What is the add-on you're using for materials? So the material is a toon shader, and the toon shader is the one I made, and you can download it. It's in the description on my Gumroad. It should say like my Gumroad or whatever. It's called a toon shader, and it's just something that I made for toon shading. So if you want to download it, it's free. You don't have to pay for it, and you can mess around with it and have some fun. All right. So let me know if you like it. So let me put the 3D cursor there. I'm gonna bring the bullet down. I'm gonna set up my camera stuff now for my shot here. There it is. Something else I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select everything. Oh, first I'm gonna make an empty. Call it controller. Well, I always used to think that the toon shading happened through lights. This opens up a lot of possibilities. Yes, this toon shader, I still have it, so it is affected by lights. So this light right here is what's affecting it. So I have like this giant rectangular light. It's an area light. It's it's rectangular. The size is 100 meters by 21, and this light is messing with the toon shading of it. But the shader itself that I made, you can actually control the highlight and like where it appears to have some like finer controls. Excuse me. Yeah, and you can have further control into this, and you can control the lights, or you can control the colors, right? So the light color doesn't have any effect on the thing, so you have a lot more control. So I'm glad you think it opens up possibilities, because it does. No problem. There we go. I got that look somewhat similar. Oh yeah, so what I was doing was I was going to use this empty to control the gun. So let me cursor to selected, and I'm going to do selected to cursor. Okay, now I'm gonna parent everything to this gun. So let's do that, or to this empty. Oh, I forgot two things to color. Oh darn, I have to color them. Let's see, Control P, keep that. Let's see if I rotate this. Oh, forgot to parent this guy onto here. There we go. Alright, got my gun. Let's, I forgot to give materials to the rings, so let's put in barrel. Same thing with this one, barrel. There we go. Alright, now I can control this gun here. And I can set up some lights. Alright. Put these bullets next to them. We'll do one of these where like we duplicate it and then we rotate them. 90 degrees. Lay them flat. And then we can always rotate this. There we go. All right. Now let's set up some of these. Let's set up some more lights. So right now I have the lights pointing from the front there, and then I'm gonna duplicate it again, rotate it on the Z, and then do it on the other side. So there you go. It has a nice little highlight going on both sides. So then when we rotate the gun, let's see if it looks good, because I don't even know. We can click on this, hit rotate, and we got a gun going. Doesn't have much lighting here, so I wonder if there's something I can do there. But you know, there we go. I think I'm at 2 hours and 43 minutes. There's a little bit more I could do with this. Like, what you could do is you could make a grease pencil object of a collection line art. And then in the collection, select the collection flare gun. For the edge type, I will take everything off except the gun there. We get a nice little edge. If we put the style up to like 50, look how big those thick lines are. Let's see them here. We can definitely change the color here. Maybe make it the background color but darker. So let's do that. And I was just kidding about the 50. Let's bring it down to like 10. It's real mild, but it's there. We got some lines going on. They look good. Let me make sure that this render is at the right place. Flare gun. Renders. Flare gun. Dot 000. Oh no. Underscore 1 2 3 4. Okay. Okay. And yes. Okay, so while we're here, let's figure out some stuff here. Let's see if we can add in some intrigue to this. I'm going to take off this line art modifier because it's pretty intensive. And I'm going to see if I can make this grip a little more interesting. There it is. Alright, let's see about adding in a texture. So let's go to image. Let's go to input. I'm sorry, image texture. Texture, image textures. There it is. Hit Control T on this guy. We'll do generated for now. I have some textures that I've collected throughout the years. Not many, and I can definitely look for more. But let's put on this leather texture. I'm also going to put in a color ramp in between. Okay. Let's see what this looks like. It's adding in the texture. It's probably going to look ugly. Okay, we don't see anything, obviously. Let's see. Alright, let's do this. Let's select the grip. Unwrap. Do a cube unwrap. And then we'll put UVs here. Alright, it has a little bit of more of a texture, but it's not great. But it's a little texture, it's a little there. Alright, let's see about adding the same texture setup. Copy to the barrel. Let's see. See what that looks like. Oh, I see it's going down with it. So that's cool. It adds in like a little, some interesting line work there, which is pretty good. Let's see if we did it by generated. It didn't change much, but it actually looks a little bit more fun. Let's see if we change it up here. Alright, let's select the barrel, and I'm going to do an unwrap of a cylinder. And see if this helps me. There it is. We got some texture going on. It's looking nice. I like it. Looks like it's scratched up now, which is what I wanted. Looks pretty cool. Maybe we could do the same for the dark part. There it is. Maybe we can make it less so. There it is. Nice. And let's go all out. Let's do it for this. What is the bottom? I don't know about what this bottom barrel is. Let's take it off for now. Okay. Looking pretty good. Let's see about taking away this texture. Just adding in a little bit there. Very little bit. There it is. Alright. Okay, so something I want to fix here is this hinge. It's not looking too good. Let's see if we could fix it with this texture. Doesn't look great, so let's select it all and unbox it. There it is. There it is. That's a little bit, at least a little bit more texture. Let's change where the highlight is. There it is. That's looking rugged. Alright. I wonder why it turns like completely black here. Like, is it that? Cool. We got some texture on there. We got some texture on the grips. Alright, same thing for the flare. This little texture's doing me good. So let's see about the texture. Let's select that all. Let's do cylindrical projection. Same thing with this one, cylindrical projection. And there we go. We got some wear and tear on there. We'll do it for the all parts. Maybe the bottom one could be a little smoother. There we go. To add some extra intrigue here, I'm going to go to edge mode and select these edges. I'm going to make bevel them and then hit Control E or Alt E to binormals. Make them go on the inside and then make these darker. There you go. Just to give it a little bit of more. How about we put it real dark, dark barrel. There it is. Let's add in dark barrel. Add it in here, and then we'll add in the dark on this third one as well. There it is. Okay, that just makes it, gives it a little bit more of a line. Looking fun. All right. The next thing is these rivets are looking a little smooth. Let's see what happens when we add in the texture. Yes, we wobble them up. That's good stuff. Good, good, good. Let's see what else we got here. All right, let's see if I could add in 2 more lights. I know that sounds crazy, but what if we just added in these two, duplicated them, and then rotated them so we got literally surrounded by lights. See what that looks like. Cool, and then we could also just bring these lights down. They don't have to be, they could be half power. Cool, and then just to add in some intrigue here, I'm gonna select the divot we did there, make it dark. There it is. We're also gonna add maybe a dark line here. We're just trying to break up these shapes. There we go. Add in some panache. Some pizzazz. Alright. And then when we rotate this guy, it's looking pretty cool. Pretty cool. There we go. Alright, there. I'm gonna tweak the background a little bit. Then I'm gonna be calling it. I did a 3-hour stream. Very nice. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna add in I'm just gonna saturate these colors. Making them brighter or something. There it is. Get some contrast in here. Okay. Actually, maybe a gamma. I've been testing out gamma. See how that works. Nah, I liked it before. There you go. Okay. Alright, and then last thing I want to do is we got these lights. I'm gonna get the camera. Um, and I'm going to I'm gonna make it empty for this camera. Also, I'm gonna erase some of these lights here. There we go. I'm gonna make it empty for the camera. Call it camera control. Cam control. We're gonna parent the camera to the cam control. So Control P. Now when I rotate this, let me go to the camera view here. Now when I rotate the camera control, the lights stay the same. Interesting. But what if I also parented all the lights? How would that look when it rotates across? Let's see, Control P, keep transforms, and we'll rotate the whole thing. Alright, we're not going to do that. We will just control the camera. Maybe the bottoms should be the dark. So let's do that real quick. Choose the face. Okay, and then I gotta fix what this looks like. Project from view. There we go. We can fix those UVs. Didn't matter. It's okay. Okay. There. Broke up some more shapes. Let's rotate this cam. Very cool. There you go. Position it good. Maybe we can rotate this gun. And I think we're good. I think we're solid here. Maybe I can make the flare a little darker. It's a little bright right now. All right. Now I wonder. These are all just small little details here. Now I wonder if I should make the inside here a little darker. Let's see. There it is. That's good. And maybe make this guy, instead of the barrel, make it dark too. There it is. I like it. Maybe this rim here, we can make them a little thicker so they don't have to be weird. So let's make it thicker. Actually, let's make them both thicker. Let's make them both 0.06. Yeah. Okay. All right. Maybe we could choose this bottom half here and make it a dark barrel part. Really just add in that extra flare there. Okay. Let's get this handle. Hold on. This handle or this grip. We'll select the band around it. And what if we did grip dark? Oops. What if we undo this? Add in the grip dark. Cool. And then we broke up the grip like if it's made from two different parts. Okay, okay, okay. Give us all one piece there. Nice. Maybe this should be grip dark. Would that look good? Yeah, I think so. Okay. And then should the bottom half of these just be dark? Let's see if that will look good. Yeah, let's do that. I think that breaks up the shape a lot. There we go. What else? What else? I think the shape's broken up pretty well now. We rotate the camera. Let's look at it here. Yeah. Nice. Okay. So, I think this is the end of the stream, guys. It's 3 hours. We got everything we needed to get. We made this model. Tune shaders in the description. I created it. It is free. We modeled our gun after this. We colored it up. We did it up. We added some texture. It looks nice. It looks rugged. It was easy to do. I ran through the whole thing. Hope everybody enjoyed it. Kelly, thank you for all your super chats today. As always, I appreciate you supporting me on my way and on my path to creating and making more stuff. Harsh, thank you for being here and watching. Soapy, Grenade, nice of you to be here as well. Kelly, I already said Kelly. Harsh, you were here. Seppuku Doge, thank you for being here. Freddy, appreciate it. Zach, appreciate you too. Zach93. So, I hope everybody had a great time watching this. Um, if you enjoy this content, it'll help me if you just like the video and subscribe it, of course. Um, and just keep on blendering. I do these streams Tuesdays and Thursdays. I will be making tutorials in the future. Jiraj, I'm doing. Jiraj, you got here right at the end of the stream, right at the very tail end. Oh, okay, good. Jiraj, hello. Thank you for stopping by. As usual, I appreciate you always trying to stop by. Always makes my day. Always appreciate it. Yes, it is the end of the stream. We made this gun, so it looks pretty cool. Looks really cool. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ended up turning out all right here. Bam, we got a gun. Bam, or a flare gun. It's not like a bullet gun, it's a flare gun. Pretty cool. Got the line art modifier on here. Looks fun. Looking pretty good. Anyway, goodbye. Will there be a stream on Sunday? No, I only do streams on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Unfortunately, my weekends have been getting pretty booked with life stuff, so I won't be doing any more streams on the weekends. I'll only be doing them on the weekdays, and it'll be Tuesday, Thursdays. So. Okay, I'll try to readjust myself. Well, you obviously don't have to. You got a life. You got stuff going on. I always chat. I always see you in the Discord, so it's all good. See you next week. Have a good one. Take care, everyone. Thank you, everybody, for stopping by. Appreciate all of you guys. And you have a nice weekend too. See you guys. See you, Jiraj.